Hello, I'm Scunny, a City Skylines player based in the UK. I focus on relaxed, creative building that balances aesthetics while exploring the game's mechanics. Today, we're back in Middlesfjord, a city located on the scenic Windy Fords map. In this session, we aim to enhance a bustling transit corridor by creating a bespoke boulevard with a focus on transit. And later on, we plan to redesign a congested intersection near the main bus station. Hello and welcome back to Middlesfjord. It's a chilly day in the city as we approach winter, currently in fall at 12 degrees, but getting close to June to August, which is the winter months when you're in the southern hemisphere, so we might expect some snow. But I'm all for playing with snow, it's a part of the game, and it does increase tourism, and it reduces speed for some vehicles as well, except for trams. And trams has been something I've been focusing on recently. Today we're going to be working in the main town, where we have quite an intricate public transport network with trams and buses running through the entire length of the city. But today I want to focus on a couple of areas where I've got a lot of traffic issues. The first being down here by the cathedral in the old town, where we have this main avenue running through the area. I've observed a lot of congestion, especially during the rush hour, and we've got several stops here for buses, and we've got 2 tram lines coming through as well. And I'd like to find a way to improve mobility in this area to prevent backups, especially around the roundabout, while also offering a high quality transfer node for this neighborhood. Another traffic hotspot we can see right now is, well, there's a lot of issues on this road here, but I wanted to focus on this junction here, this intersection. It's by our main bus station where we often have a lot of crossing traffic coming in to access the building. I don't mind there being queuing traffic, especially during rush hour, because these roads are designed to handle a lot of vehicles. However, my main concern is when buses and trams get stuck in the jam themselves. So I'd like to find an alternative way to kind of move those around here. I suppose I should be worried about this. It could have just been an accident earlier that's now just being resolved. I can see there's lots of vehicles now moving, so they'll probably clear up. We're a growing city with typical growth problems, and the fact that we experience backups due to an excess of trams and buses doesn't concern me. It only reaffirms that public transport is being used and is growing in popularity. So to summarize today's goals, we'll be working on transforming these 2 major traffic hotspots and hopefully improve flow and frequency. And we'll do this by upgrading the road system while minimizing the amount of demolition, especially to existing buildings. And I also want to avoid overbuilding infrastructure. I'm not going to be creating a 3-level interchange here. I still want this to be quite pedestrian friendly. This is a tourist hotspot. We've got a lot of movement of people around here, and I want to avoid them having to climb too many ramps or stairs if we had them, and just kind of keep this area accessible. Let's start by clearing out some of these paths so that we've got space to work. Next up, we need to add a roundabout on both sides of the road we're working on, and then we can reduce this first road down to a small 2-lane road. Next up, I'm grabbing an alley road and sinking it down to 7.5 meters and connecting it up to the roundabouts. And using the replace tool with snapping turned off, I'm able to drag this closer to the existing road and place a pedestrian road over the top. Next up, I'm going to add another road on the top side of the underpass. This was conflicting a little bit with the pedestrian road, which I had to remove and replace later, and then use the replace tool to bring these closer together. I first upgrade the roads to one-way, but realized that I'd like to have bi-directional traffic on both sides, as we've got 2 tram lines coming through the area and I wanted to avoid any conflict between the two. Adding the tram stops now, you can see that neither of the tram lines cross each other, making this solution a lot more efficient than if they were both on the same road. In the bus stops that we lost, removing the roundabouts reveals these supernodes, and I'm able just to neaten the roads up just a little bit further. I wasn't happy with the way the top road was connecting up with the intersection on the left, so I'm redrawing it to see if I can connect it further away and get a larger turning radius. I then start to upgrade the road heading south with a larger avenue to this allows us to have a dedicated tram medium. I upgrade the road once more using the 6-lane road tool. This allows for 2 lanes of traffic in either direction, along with a dedicated tram medium in between. You can also see that the intersection has widened up quite a lot now, making the turn radius much larger and vehicles being able to travel much faster. And as expected, it started snowing just between the time lapse and the live play, so we have a wonderful winter scene here. So let's just recap what we've been working on. We've got these 3 roads running along where we had the avenue originally. I'm using bi-directional roads because the trams are split into 2 lines, one that heads left and towards East Woodbridge, and then the other tram heads north and heads up to the university. In a perfect world, I'd be able to remove the tram lines on the intersection that are not being used. However, you know, they're there for now, and it does provide access for when vehicles need to come and go for maintenance, so there's that. So yeah, I just need to fix some of the lanes or the directions of which these lanes can go. I think if you're driving on this right side, you shouldn't be able to turn left, so let's just grab some of our road service tools and turn off left turns here, and again let's turn off right turns. I think we can turn off the straight on this one and then keep the straight on option on the left side, since it's more aligned with the road ahead. And let's have a look at this side. Let's turn it around so we can kind of orientate ourselves. So again, I don't want any right turns on this one and any left turns on this one. And we have vehicles going straight on this one, so let's turn them off for this. The reason why I want to keep the straight on the left side is because we do have a bus that runs on both sides of these tram roads that need to be able to go straight on. Let's also bring back some of the pedestrian access that we had over here. So we had a footpath going behind this office here, and we can plug that back in. I think I'm going to remove the crosswalk here, since we have this footbridge passing through the area. Add a little shortcut as well on this corner, just to make it a bit more of a pleasant walk. It's quite hilly, so I'm having to only cut out a small section of the corner, otherwise it's going to be too steep. We also did lose some zoning on this corner when we were placing the roundabout. It looks like this side has filled in. This one looks to be a little bit more troublesome. If we open up our zone, yeah, it's really broken. But I do like how this mixed use is filling out the ground texture with some concrete. So I'm going to keep that one here. It's a shame that the one next to it is identical. It even has like the little alleyway, which I don't hate. It reminds me of those small little lanes that you find in Tokyo with the little cafes. So I might just keep that for now. It's a quirky little feature of the area. But up here, we're going to have to address some of the issues. Well, first of all, let's remove the traffic lights from that intersection here, because it's super small. And don't need communications, we need footpaths. And let's see if we can just fix up some of this zoning. I might lose some of that. Yeah, I'm probably going to lose that cute shop thing that I've got going on, just so that we can get a really nice big lot to work with. And let's throw in some high density commercials, since this is quite a popular tourist area. And then let's see how much space we get back. Oh look, we get a nice clean grid. So let's grab our mixed use and see if we can get a building that fits that space. Yeah, no, the grid is a bit wonky here. Well, I think that's the best I'm going to get, not without creating more problems. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to fill in the gap that we've got left with an alley road, and this can be an access point for deliveries and garages at the back of buildings. So let's snap to the grid, put that one in there, and then let's see if we can pull this down without too much of an issue. There we go. Look, we've got nice little zoned area here. We've got a whole bunch of crosswalks I don't think we need, so let's go back to our road service tool and turn off this one. And we don't need the lights either, and I don't want people turning down the lane. It may cause issues. They can go around a different way if they need to. Okay, yeah, so I think that is the zoning here fixed, and we should get a couple of nice storefronts. Nice little corner lot here. I can see there's going to be two entrances, one on East Street and then another one on Middle Street. I'm now going to do some detailing and get some of these lumps and bumps covered up with some trees and bushes, bring back some of those oaks that we had in the park, and then also fix this path here. And then we'll start working on the intersection by the bus station. And it looks like we'll be losing the snow for the second half of the episode. So let's take a look at what we've done here. It's currently 9 o'clock in the morning, so we've got the rush hour traffic. It looks pretty clear at the moment, to be honest. The simulation is struggling a little bit more than usual, maybe because of all the different path calculations it might have to make here, but overall I'm quite happy with the result. We've got a bit of a queue backing up down here, but it's past this intersection, so it's not as bad as you might think, and the road does widen up to 2 lanes after it gets to this point. And I'd say that is a pretty successful implementation of one of these supernodes, and this side seems to be holding up pretty well as well, and we don't have as much traffic on this side. There was one thing I did want to add over here. We've got this crossing, which I think I might eliminate. We've got these 2 paths that kind of meet up, so why don't we join them? Let's move this bus stop back just a little bit, and then grab our path tool, and then let's just bring this across, shall we? Does it not like the angle? Let's go straight then. And then we might need to delete a little bit of this path. Let's make a nice curve, and that did not work. Let's try that again. There we go. We did lose a tree, but we can plant an oak there instead. And I think we might have lost a bus stop. I can see we've got one of these waypoints, so let's grab the bus stop and put that back in and reconnect it. Lovely. Perfect. Yeah, I think that's good. And I did notice there was some weird merging with the buses down near the intersection, so hopefully having the bus stop pulled back a little bit will help that. And yeah, let's get rid of that crosswalk. Oh, it gets rid of it up there though. Okay, we'll keep that then, and hopefully people will choose to come down here anyway, and it'll be a quicker journey. Why don't we just add a little footpath along this building too, just so that there's a little shortcut. There we go. Yeah, so it's looking good. Next up, let's have a look at this one by the central bus station. So we've got lots of access to this bus station for buses and less access for regular vehicles. So if we just have a quick overview, we only have bus access on Stonegate Road. So this is where the main issue is. We've got buses coming down the BRT system that we set up a while ago now. And I did have the bus lane running all the way down here to the bus station, but for buses to turn into the bus station, they need to pull into this turn lane. And so I had basically one lane dedicated to buses and trams on this side, and then I just had a queue of buses coming into the bus station here. So I was wondering whether there's a way to just fiddle with these roads a little bit so that we can get kind of separated lights. At the moment we have both of these lights turning green, autosave, on this North Road. So the traffic coming down on North Road, you can see this garbage truck waiting to cut across. And yeah, during busy periods I find that we have a lot of vehicles kind of like just backing up and really struggling to get through. So I'm going to do the supernode thing again and see if we can fix that. We might lose thick digital, but we can always look to redevelop that side again in the future. And yeah, hopefully we don't cause too much destruction. It should be a fairly simple project since we don't have that much else built up in this area. So we've got a little bit of room to expand either into the woods on this side or the field on this side. And yeah, you can see there's a little bit of a backup here, but again, like I said, these roads are built for capacity and we're still quite early in the morning. So eventually this will all calm down, and you can see up here where we had that congestion earlier. Like I said, it was probably a vehicle accident and it just took a long time to clear up, and yeah, no problems now. I'm tempted to remove the roundabout too, just so that we don't have this intersection blocked. So I'm gonna do that. So the issue I find with the roundabouts is turning traffic will enter the roundabout and then block traffic that want to go straight on. At least with an intersection, if there's a vehicle on this side wanting to turn right, they won't enter the intersection until the road is clear. So I think with this method of removing the roundabout will really help here if we do have congestion in the future. One thing we could do is upgrade this road to be asymmetric, so we've just got a little bit more capacity for vehicles exiting the neighborhood. And since we've got some lights down here, I'm going to add a asymmetric road heading into that four-way road as well. And yeah, I think that looks good, because coming in here can get out, and then over here we've got plenty of space to maneuver as well. So yeah, I'm going to work on this area now. We'll be right back. Alright, so we managed to squeeze in the new turn lane for buses and taxis, so we'll just have to see if it works. Again, I'm not happy with the way these tram tracks have rendered. I would have preferred if they weren't doing a U-turn. But, you know, I will just pretend we don't see them. It's fine for now. I can see that we're getting dedicated light phases, so we've got these heading straight on, so, and then we've got Stonegate Road going, so next we should expect the south side of Stirling Street, or northbound Stirling Street, to go next. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, that's the desired result, because we had a lot of conflicting vehicles. I think that should solve a lot of the waiting issues for the buses. The only issue now, I suspect, is the wait time for heading out of the city is going to be increased. However, if this intersection, or if you're heading into the city from this side, is less backed up, there's not going to be as many vehicles waiting here, so hopefully the light phase heading north should last a lot longer than what you'd expect if there was just as much traffic waiting on both sides. So yeah, pretty happy with the result with that. We'll just have to stress test it in the next rush hour to see if it works. For now, I'm just going to add a few bushes along here just to hide some of these dark shadows and strange shapes, and we'll be right back. So I am witnessing a few private vehicles using this turn lane, and sometimes they're switching back across. You can see we've got some of these lane markings, or the wear in the road where you can see where the vehicles can travel. So I'm just going to turn off all the directions that this road can go, and just make sure that we can only have turning vehicles. And I believe it's this one up here, and there we go. Yeah, you can see we've got this truck here. It's a pickup truck. You should not be down here. We just want buses using this slip road, and taxis, of course, and emergency vehicles. But overall, I'm really impressed with how easy it is to use some of these road tools together. I'm usually just merging and bending some of the highway roads, but I really do like to keep the sidewalks as much as possible, especially in more urban areas, and I'm pleasantly surprised how well these have merged together nicely. We've got a lot of people queuing up for... Which bus are you queuing for? I cannot tell. We've got a lot of different stops here. So none of our bus lines are over capacity at the moment in terms of usage, so I'm not 100% sure which buses they're waiting for. I can see there's quite a bit of movement around this one, so let's have a look to see. Oh, so it's the BRT Intercity. Maybe we just throw a couple of extra buses on there and see if that helps. And it looks like this one on the end here is quite busy as well. Let's see other BRT local. Yeah, the BRTs are getting popular again. It comes and goes in terms of popularity, but I've seen a lot of usage recently, which is pretty cool. I just want to make sure that we keep this area of the bus station clear of traffic so that we don't have any hold-ups. As you can see, we're pretty much at capacity when it comes to our bus station usage. We've got every bay in use with at least 10 vehicles on each line, so a lot of movement. But everything's working, and see, we've got our dedicated turning lane for our buses working here too. And that's what you need to do as the city grows, is just find it. You're gonna get more traffic. People are gonna want to use more public transport. And rather than adding more lanes for passenger vehicles, why not add more lanes for public transport vehicles instead? Alright, it's 6 p.m. and we're just seeing the tail end of the rush hour, and we're just seeing how this new intersection holds up. We have our individual light phases, so everybody gets the chance to come out if possible. I think if we had the option to have separate turning phases and then separate straight on phases, that would be ideal, but for now I think this is the best we can do. At least these two are turning green at the same time. It's just the main thoroughfare that has separate signals. And it seems to be holding up at the moment. We got a little bit of traffic backing up. But, you know, this will clear out after the rush hour. It's not too bad. And there's lots of alternative exits to the city. I think this is usually the most desirable because it's got good access to the highway up here. However, we do have this exit, which you can clearly see barely has any traffic on it. And this one takes you up past the hospital, and then we have another interchange here, which you can see is quite busy at the moment, with a lot of vehicles coming off the highway and back into the city, but overall it's holding up quite well. I have been considering an update to this interchange, possibly a windmill interchange, but it's very complex. I'm not really sure what would be suitable, just because we've got so many different exits. We've got this exit, the Elizabeth Highway going into the city. We have another one here going up to our old university area, and then this one takes you down to Valley View, and then over the bridge it takes you to West Woodbridge. And that's just one side of the interchange. This side takes you up to the rail yard, and there's forestry and farming. And then of course we have this main highway that leads you out of the city and past the airport. So with that number of exits on this one roundabout, I can't really think of a way of optimizing it right now. We could possibly connect up the airport highway to go through and then onto the main road that leads into the city. However, we don't have a lot of space here, so if you've got any ideas, feel free to put some in the comments. If you've got any real life interchanges that you can recommend looking at, drop a location in the comments. I'll take a look and try get inspired. So let's pull out and have a look at the overall health of the city and see if there's any issues to address. It seems that everything is similar to before. We have a few deaths waiting to be picked up and the typical high rent symbols, but overall we're in good shape. Let's review some of our key city statistics. First, our zoning meter. We're looking pretty full for everything. We're meeting the demands of everyone. This unoccupied buildings is one that's kind of stuck around. I did find quite a few empty low residential buildings which I managed to demolish. I wonder if the remaining unoccupied buildings are in multi-household buildings, which I'm not really easily able to find. However, we've got pretty much full demand for everything. I mean, industry so much so that we don't even have like the little arrow symbol anymore. We are literally just at max demand. And with the upcoming economic update expected to increase demand for industrial workers, it will be interesting to see the impact on the city. Our current unemployment rate is at 5.5%, and we anticipate this will probably decrease as the new economy reworks the number of workers in industrial buildings. So we don't really need to take any action on that yet. However, we might need to look at building some additional homes near this area. We do have a few areas of development waiting to happen in our Northfield Fields area. And if we take a look at our education, our elementary school needs are met. We're actually providing more than what's needed. We have capacity for almost 40,000 with only 36,000 students eligible. But we may need to consider building another university, as we currently have 3 and demand appears to be increasing. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the state of the city so far. I think we'll survive the upcoming patch. Let's return to our earlier project. Sadly, we did have to lose a lot of vegetation when we were widening this road. We did have a nice row of oak trees, and I've replanted these, so we should hopefully get a nice new lush garden in the future. I look forward to watching them grow. You can see here where we temporarily increased the road width using a roundabout. We lost some of our adult shrubs, and these will grow back as well. I'm sure they'll look nice and blend in like before. And if we have a quick look at the bus station, we're getting a whole ton of traffic. Okay, so I spent some time looking at this intersection. I really wasn't happy with the two-phase lights or the multi-stage lighting, where people leaving the city would get full priority and then the ones coming into the city would have to wait. So I've managed to mess around with the roads a little bit further so that now we have a green light for both sides of the intersection, so vehicles leaving and entering the city can move at the same time. And as you just spotted then, we also have a separate phase for this right turn for buses. And I think the reason why that happens is the way that these roads are lined up. So if I click on Sunset Street, you can see this is a continuous road here, and this one, Concord Street, is different. It looks like it's connecting up to the one at the bus station. But the way I drew this is I used the parallel road tool and I dragged two roads coming away from the intersection. And then I think because those are parallel and it's leading directly into this road heading into the city, it treats that as kind of like a one continuous route. So when the lights turn green, we get traffic moving in both directions. Before it was backing up way too much, not just on the city side, but also coming into the city, and the whole thing had just grinded to a halt. And with this, I just really love the fact that we have this dedicated green light, this dedicated turn light for our buses heading to the station, which I think was the actual desired result I was hoping to get. I just didn't really realize it was achievable in vanilla City Skylines 2, but you know, the tools in this game never cease to amaze me, and yeah, this is incredible. Look at this. I did adjust some of the lanes too, so we had a little bit more capacity. We've got these 3 lanes heading into the city, one dedicated to our tram line, which actually has a small stop just after the intersection. And then these 2 lanes join up into the intersection here, heading straight down into town. But overall, yeah, really happy with the result of this. There we go again, without any hassle. Yeah, it's looking really good. I'm not seeing any traffic jams at the moment. Neither down here by our new public transport Boulevard. Everything's moving as it should. The only thing I might adjust maybe is the roundabout. That might need a little bit of attention in the future. Yeah, this is turning out to be quite a productive episode. I'm happy with the results. As we conclude today's session, we have made significant progress in addressing the congestion challenges in Middlesfjord. We've implemented significant changes to the Old Town Avenue and also around by the main bus station to improve mobility while preserving the city's charm. The city that we're building is committed to enhancing public transport and promoting walkability. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on today's project. Do you think we struck the right balance between preserving the historical area and modernising the city's infrastructure? Or do you think we could have done things differently? Anyway, thanks for joining today. We'll finish off with a few lovely cinematics to show off our work, starting here at the bus station. See ya!